All right. Welcome back, everybody, to Lawyers Happy Hour. And this month we have Mary Sue Dayhill. Mary Sue Dayhill is a hot mess tamer who helps ambitious entrepreneurs tame their technology to get more clients. Using her all-in-one CRM and methods, her clients quickly go from scrambling for clients to a pipeline that never runs dry. Mary Sue's clients are thought leaders like coaches, creatives, and consultants. So without further ado, Mary Sue, take it away.
All right. Thank you very much. I'm going to share my screen here. Oh, it says disabled. Do you not want me to?
Nope, hold on. Let me fix that.
Yeah, so I'm in Arlington, Virginia, for those of you that are around here.
There you go.
Oh, so you're on the East Coast.
Yes. I just feel like my room is dark today. All right, let's get this moving. So how many of you feel like this sometimes? The Post-it note monster, yes. And just for my knowledge, how many of you are you know the business owner? I know that some of Cassidy works at Litify. Okay, so most of you are.
Yes, business owner.
Yeah. Awesome.
My wall looks like that.
It looks slightly more organized. So throughout this talk, if you have a question, just jump in. I'm totally fine with interruptions and questions. So feel free, but I'm curious why you chose to register for today other than you love Daya's networking groups. Was the topic of interest? And if so, what kind of drew you to it?
Well, I love the hot mess tamer because I can certainly relate to the hot messes.
I joined because I really like, since I'm going to be working with lawyers and legal teams, I'm a very empathetic person. So I would just love to learn like more a little bit about what goes on in your guys' daily lives, since I have never practiced law. So I think in order to have organic conversations, it's always nice to know, okay, this is what they might be going through, and just to know like what types of questions I should be asking. And I think like I always like to just break out of my comfort zone. So that's why I wanted to join, and I love meeting new people, and I think it's fun, and it's always fun to learn.
Awesome. Well, thank you. All right, so a little bit more about me. I am also, as I said, in the DMV area. I have a long technology background. And when I started my business, I was not doing what I'm doing today, but what I found is a lot of business owners really struggling with technology, and I was loving learning about all the tools that small businesses could use in their business and automate things. And that just really fueled my passion around leveraging tools and automation in your business. And as a small business owner, especially if you're more like a solopreneur with a small team, automation is your friend, and it can really help you deliver your high touch, kind of experience that we all want as small businesses. And that's what I'm going to talk further about today, because a lot of people do feel that automation makes things feel very robotic, but it doesn't have to feel that way. So when I work with a client, I follow, the marketing funnel that everyone's seen, where you create systems and automations to help carry a new contact through that process with you, so that by the time they're getting down to this bottom part, intent and conversion, they've really had a great experience with you so far, and hopefully makes that conversion a little easier. So what we're going to talk about, though, is how you bring some heart into that whole process, because again, it can feel very robotic and very systematized, and we want to feel like humans working with humans. So what I know for sure is that anyone can create kind of that high touch experience using an all-in-one CRM solution, or possibly Litify does make things much easier because it's in one place. And then being boutique does simplify things, and I'll talk more about that in a minute. So what we will cover are some of the simple keys to being a highly attractive boutique business, what kind of signifies that. And then we'll talk about all that money that you're leaving on the table because you're not following up today. And then we'll talk about the 5 like critical elements to create a high touch experience. So I'm going to go through all of this in the talk. If you're interested in getting my slides as well as this great guide on how a simple funnel can help you get more clients, I'll put this in the chat too. Just email info@worksmarterdigital.com and I'll send it to you. All right, so let's talk about the 5 simple keys. So being a boutique business to me is really what will distinguish you from other lawyers, from other businesses. And I know that each of you has your area of specialty, but we all have a competition. So, but being boutique is when you're really person-centric, when you're really focused on service, the service that you're providing, and very hyper focused on your niche. And when I think of a boutique business, I always think of this women's shop right down the street from me called Lemon Chiffon. I know exactly, I know it's a cute name. I know exactly what kind of stuff they're going to be offering no matter what the season or time of year. Because they serve women of a certain age, which I'm in, and that like to go to resorts. I mean, that's not so much me, but that love like really kind of fancy stuff. So if I'm trying to buy something for maybe myself or a gift, I know what kind of stuff they're going to have there. And so that's the kind of boutique experience and understanding we want to create for our business, for a law firm. And what it does is that it really helps with automating your systems because you know who you're talking to, you know how they like to be spoken to. And that makes all of those kind of more transactional messages much easier to not only write, but automate because you have really one way that you're talking to your community, your potential clients, as well as your clients. And every boutique business leverages automation. The other kind of boutique business that I think of is Kimpton Hotels, which I really like because they allow animals in their hotel. That's like part of their brand. And I always feel like when I go there, they remember that I've been there before. They remember some of my preferences that I had. Those are all ways of leveraging automation. They're doing it in a very human way, but they are using automation. It is the person that is talking to you has been served up certain information about you, and the person you're talking to is using that effectively in their conversation. So those are all kind of elements of being boutique. And with the systems available today, no matter the size of your company, you can be doing some very similar things. So wanted to introduce you to Janet. She is an executive leadership coach, and she also works with horses in her practice. But what she was really interested in being able to automate because she felt in her business, she'd gotten to the point where she was actually losing the personal touch because she was so busy. She wasn't following up effectively or being as responsive as she normally was. And so it wasn't deteriorating her overall experience. So once she automated her, especially her client onboarding, as well as just some of those pieces where when she would meet somebody in networking, the follow-up that happens with networking. It really helped her be more personal and provide that personal attention in those scenarios with her clients that really made a big difference. So a lot of people feel uncomfortable with automation. And so I just want to dispel some of that fear. Does anyone use automation today? I know that a lot of the case management software does have automation of the case management process, but not curious if anyone uses it as part of their marketing or client onboarding in their business today.
I have an automated gift service, so people get birthday gifts and cards sent out automatically.
All right, I like that. So let's do a little exercise on follow-up. So what I'd like you to do, you don't have to tell us anything here, just to jot it down for yourself, but I'd like you to really give a dollar value to one new client in a year. So in 1 year, what is the dollar value of one new client? So I'll give you 5 seconds to figure that out. I'm sure you all already know.
10x,
Say it again.
10x.
10x. That's your dollar value. All right. So now what I want you to do is think of 3 follow-up activities that if you did them perfectly would really change that your business. And you can share a couple either in the chat or speak up if you want. Sean, do you have one? Okay.
What do you mean by follow-up, Mary Sue?
Follow-up. Okay, good question. So this could be like you had a call with someone and they didn't take action right away. So did you follow up with them? That's one. A networking follow-up, maybe you met someone networking, they might be a good referral source for you.
Yes,
Periodical reminder calls or reminder emails.
Yep, reminder emails for like what, Lakshmi?
So the follow-up activities like after, like for the action reminder for the clients, like they need to take.
Oh, yes, that's a good one. Yep.
Yeah, I have
Sean?
a quick follow-up story for you. Real quick, I'll share a story.
Yeah.
I was at a house party with my neighbor, ran into a real estate agent, and they were explaining to me, you know, I do real estate signings as well. So we had that in common. And they were explaining to me about how they do things online as a realtor, which I had no clue was a thing. And I was explaining to her how I do things as a notary online, and she had no clue. And I gave her a bunch of my business cards, got all excited thinking, you know, okay, we'll collaborate. Never heard from the person, right? Then went to another house party, ran to the same person. And we just, you know, had a conversation again, just, you know, small talk, chopped it up. Wasn't a hard sell or anything like that. And then I just walked away thinking, oh, okay, you know, I probably won't hear from her. Probably 2 months later, she called me out, you know, out the blue, panic. Hey, I remember talking about this online thing. I got a customer in, where are they at? Puerto Rico or Aruba or somewhere. And they're like, I got to get this thing signed. Can you help me out? So follow-up does work.
That was more serendipity follow-up. Can we agree on that though?
Yeah, well, you know, the second time I talked to her at the party, the second house party, I did kind of, you know, work with them, but I sent her an email, you know, afterwards saying,
Oh, okay. Well, yeah,
my bad.
that's your like proactive follow-up. But yeah, that's a great story.
Yeah, I'm just elaborating my statement. So like for if there is a taxation client, so just a reminding of the due date that you have to file. Yeah, after follow-up, it is like after a client, or perhaps this kind of person who has periodically or frequently do something. So just reminding him, or if there is any legal change, so update the laws or notifications.
Yes, those are great follow-up activities for sure, especially if if in your legal practice, there's recurring activities that, you know, maybe you finish your initial work together, but there's definitely recurring things that you could be involved in. Following up on those is also great activities. So you all came up with some great examples here. So if you were following up intentionally and consistently on those sorts of things, how many more clients or engagements would you actually convert in a year? And just, you know, just put that in your head. You had a number of how much a client would, a new client would be valued at in your business. So how many more clients do you think you could get if you were being consistent with your follow-up? And then you just multiply those two things together to show the total revenue impact that follow-up could have in your business.
Definitely more than what, if we are not following up, we have definitely more than that. But it is very unpredictable to say. Sometimes it is exponential because you do not know who is going to knock your door. But sometimes there is a low volume, but sometimes definitely what you think, you cannot imagine you get that much of response.
Yes. I have one client who is a dyslexia advocate, and she will work with the client to help them put a student plan together for, you know, their child, and then that is finished. But there are multiple times when the parent can have that plan reevaluated annually and then every 3 years. So she recently put in a follow-up system to just check in at those points, because those are points when maybe the student isn't doing that well and whatever they had put in place initially isn't working. So they can go open the case again with the school. So those are all follow-up activities, and they're kind of low-hanging fruit since you already have a relationship with the person. So I hope that was insightful as just opportunities to to leverage automation in your business. You can do it in a lot of different ways. Dates are one that are super easy to implement. So just think about that. So then bringing some of that kind of, when I've totally lost my train of thought. Okay, we're going to cover 5 elements of the high touch experience so that you can actually bring that heart into all these activities. When I look at these funnels, I see like, it's just a system, you know, so again, it feels really inhuman in a way. But what the funnel does is take someone from awareness of you to becoming a contact or lead in your business, to qualifying them as a potential client, and then the actual sale. So in all of those steps, you can incorporate these 5 elements. So one is just being really intentional about the process. And as lawyers, you may not be doing as much on the like lead magnet, social posting, all that kind of stuff. You may be doing more on the networking follow-up or referral connection. So whatever it is just being intentional about what your lead generation process is, and then how do you connect that to building a relationship with that person. So just writing out those steps doesn't even have to be complicated. And then looking at ways that you can personalize the communications. So personalization happens in a lot of ways. One, the simplest way is obviously using the person's name. And I'm sure you've seen emails from different businesses where they're not using your name for whatever reason. So if you have a form on your website where you're collecting emails, always ask for first name. You don't need anything else, but first name allows you to personalize your communication with that person. Personalization could also be if you have different, you know, practices or different areas of law that you support, can you send them newsletters that are specific to that area? So that's another way of personalizing. or if they took an action with your business, like they downloaded a freebie or they scheduled a certain type of call with you, you can personalize the follow-up to that action that they took. So those are all personalization. Sorry, my dogs ran in here. I don't know what they think they're going to do. So if there's barking, I apologize. The third one is standardize more and customize less. And I would assume that being lawyers, maybe this isn't as big of a problem. It is a problem with a lot of businesses. I'm just curious if you feel like there's a lot of customization in how you do business with people today, or if it's pretty standardized. I'd just love to know your experience. No one?
Yes, I mean, I feel like everything's customized, but I often in my head think, oh, I'm telling the same process again. I should systemize it more.
Yep. Yes. Now, the place that you guys probably don't have as much trouble that I see with a lot of my other clients is actually the contracts. The contracts and payment are usually where a lot of people will do a lot of customization that creates a ton of work. So once someone says, yes, I want to be your client, your goal is to make that process from yes to payment as fast as possible so that they're not having time to go, well, maybe I should go with this other person. Maybe I don't even need it at all. I'm sure that's not the case with all of you. Depending on what kind of legal matter it is, they may just have to take action. But standardizing how you get started in business with someone can be really valuable overall to your business. So I'm not saying everything needs to be standardized, but I would definitely try to standardize your payment plan so it makes it easy to create an invoice and it's not, kind of jumping through hoops. The fourth one is surprise and delight, and Dea was talking about this where she sends kind of automated gifts and things. Sorry. What up? So surprise and delight is gift giving. It could also be a card of some kind that you're sending out at a certain point in your relationship with them. It could be just reaching out with a phone call also unexpectedly. So surprise and delight can really work in your favor to create that high touch experience. And it is, it has to align with your business, your kind of client process or engagement process. And then the fifth one is connecting all the dots. And this just means that if you have forms on your website, if you're using an online appointment scheduling tool, if you are sending out email marketing, are you getting all of those people into one database? And so that you don't have this like leaky leads process. That's what I see a lot of times, is that people are getting leads from a bunch of different sources, but they're never making it into their central database to actually continue to foster a relationship with people. They kind of drop out. So you can't have a high touch experience if you are not connecting all of those dots. And one thing I did last year was I actually did write a book on, I called it The Boutique Effect. And I think it's a great tool that if this is getting you thinking about how can I do this in my business, it is a technology strategy guide for small businesses. How do you incorporate automation and tech in your business? And then it does have recipes for some of the typical automations that businesses have. I think it's a great resource, very usable. So you can take one bit and go take action on it. You don't have to read the whole book before you can take action. So do you feel after talking through all this that your systems are high touch? Do you see gaps? Yeah, Dea's saying no. Anyone else kind of see some insights that after going through this, you might want to be making some adjustments? No, yes, okay.
Yeah, I definitely need to make some adjustments. It's like I'm pretty okay in collecting stuff in the beginning, but then it's kind of like after that second touch, you know, where do they go?
And where do they go? Yes. So this is like typically technology that you will be using in your business. And I've broken it down by the, 3 kind of major chunks in the funnel: lead generation. So you need some sort of opt-in form, landing pages, you need autoresponders, CRMs, appointment scheduling, depending on the type of contract. I don't actually have that one in here, but contracts are another one that you can automate. I don't know what automations are available in the notary space. That'd be interesting to learn. And then payment is obviously another one. So I know that case management tools probably cover a lot. They cover all of the sales and service part. Depending on which one you're using, they may or may not be covering as much in the lead generation and qualifying here. There we go. So this is not a hard sell at all, but when you have a tool that covers the majority of your software needs, and in your case, it would be your case file management, and to me, kind of a lead generation marketing component together, plus having support in actually implementing those tools makes the whole thing work better. Because it's the implementation where a lot of people get stuck and they don't actually implement anything, and so it doesn't help them. So that's what I do that's what I do with my clients. Is I sell the software, but I really focus on the implementation. How can we move their manual systems or all these different tools that they have into one, so that it's much more streamlined and just systematized, helping them actually get stuff done rather than being so hard to work with. So Sean's saying, do you have follow-up for the follow-up software, as in staying on myself? Yes, that is funny. That is the hardest part, is doing your own follow-up. That's why I actually automate stuff. People think that I love checklists because I do like systems, but I hate checklists. I will not follow them. I try to automate as much as possible so I don't have to do that. That is my solution. So thank you. I just want to, if you have any other insights, I kind of have asked this before, so apologize for that. But so my question just is, what if you didn't have to work so hard with all of your systems and connecting the dots manually, and you had tools that would make that much smoother and easier? And if your potential clients, felt like they were building a relationship with you from the get-go. I think that would make, for any business, the whole experience much easier. And then once you actually have kind of that client call with them, it would make it easier for them to convert and become a client. So if you're interested in talking through like what tools you're using and how you can automate a little bit more and create your high touch experience, I would love to talk to you about that. That's what gets me up in the morning, to be honest. And if you do schedule time, you will get a digital version of the Boutique Effect for yourself. And then again, if you want the slides and guide, go ahead and email me. And that is it. I will leave you with this. I think automation is the manifestation of your intention, which makes it so wonderful. So that is it. I'm going to stop sharing. So if there are any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
Yeah. Thank you, Mary Sue. I'm going to go ahead and stop recording so we can be very, very candid. Thank you again, those of you who are watching the replay, Lawyers Happy Hour.